Hi, I'm Chris Lopez with Alamosa Citizen. This is Adams State Football with Coach Levi Gallas, sponsored by RG Bank. We're live at the San Luis Valley Brewing Company. Coach, you got your home season opener this week. How you feeling about that?
There's nothing like being at home. There really is, in the college game day atmosphere of what Saturdays look like. You know, you wake up in the morning, you got the college game day happening on ESPN, and you know, with that, now we're finally home.
And it's a 6 o'clock kickoff. That's awesome. Saturday night under the lights. Who do you got to your right, Coach?
Yeah, today I brought Ben Brown. Okay, Ben comes from Denver, Colorado, played at Arapahoe High School, took on a huge role for us this first season and playing center.
Ben, welcome to the podcast. Good to meet you. How was that first game for you at Western New Mexico? Starting center, freshman. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a great experience, and it's just great to get on the field and, you know, work your stuff. So it was great.
Ben was telling us that he twisted his ankle on the first series, first play?
Yes, sir.
And he sucked it up, finished the drive. The Grizzlies looked pretty good, Coach, on that opening drive at Western New Mexico, but you stumbled there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you know, really excited for our guys. You know, handling the travel experience, handling, again, like we talked about last week, that a lot of guys, their first start, right? In Ben's case, it was his first start in the college atmosphere, and to be able to go and handle some of that new pieces to the puzzle of traveling and working as one unit together on a Saturday. Extremely happy with some of those pieces. You know, we came out and started fast. We set the tone for the game, and we knew it was going to be a hard-fought battle and a lot to learn from, right? A lot to learn from coming off the game and looking to clean some of that stuff up this week.
Yeah, a lot to learn from that game, Coach. What's your message now as you look forward into Saturday, home season opener? What's the message you share as you go forward, Coach?
Well, it's pretty evident. You know, you don't have to be just a coach from the couch to realize the things that we needed to work on. And that was discipline and detail. We got to work on the small things. This game is still won and lost by just making sure you do your job. And that's holding on to the football. We all saw it. Those are mistakes that we had, that we tripped up ourselves on and put ourselves into bad situations. But those things are fixable. We can go out and fix those things by having a great week of practice and focusing on keeping it high and tight. But then even on the defensive side, you look at that late touchdown right before the half. That's a huge momentum shifter for us. You know, it doesn't matter for us defensively how we get on the field. It's all about how we get off. And so presented with those opportunities, we've got to go answer the bell and making sure that we don't give up that touchdown late there in the first half. And then we come out second half, and I thought we were on fire again. You know, we were clicking, and we were able to get a quick 3 and out and be able to put the ball in the end zone. And it felt like we had that momentum again.
Well, you talked about the importance of the last 4 minutes of the each half, and then the last 4 minutes of the game. Talk a little bit about what you're saying there and what your message is to your team when you think about those 4 minutes before the end of the half, the 4 minutes after. Talk about that.
Yeah, it really bleeds over into the first 4 minutes of the second half, the first 4 minutes. And so the last 4 and the first 4, I call it the middle 8. And just continuing to keep hold of that momentum, because there's a break in the game that we all have to deal with halftime, and so you want to make sure that nobody's going into the locker room with that momentum, and therefore we kind of slipped up a little bit and giving up that late touchdown, and then talking about that coming out of the locker room and again dusting off that moment of sitting and relaxing and getting back engaged with the game. We did a good job of that in the second half and coming out and scoring quick.
Yeah, you came right out and scored it in the second half, and you kept the lead really from the whole game up until the fourth quarter. Ben, talk to us about what it was like for you to be on the college football field for the first time, and then what your lessons learned or your takeaways were in your first start.
I kind of learned that, you know, to step up from what I've played before, and you got to step up to the challenge, and you know, you got to take every day as an opportunity to get better. And so just got to every day work to get better.
Was it a surprise for you to be named the starting center and then to take the field that way? I mean, that's a pretty proud moment for you.
when I heard that I was starting, I had a sense of pride, but I was like, now I got to get the job done. So step up to the occasion.
What is the conversation that the team has been as you go forward into Saturday's game? Give us a little bit of sense of that locker room and what the players are feeling and how you're feeling going forward into Saturday's game against UT Permian Basin.
Everyone, it's just control the controllables, do your job, and it's fundamentals. Football is up to blocking and tackling, and that comes down to effort. So,
yeah, Coach, you brought Ben with us. Appreciate learning about him and his career path. Give us some other shout outs or who you thought performed the way you wanted at Western New Mexico.
Yeah, as you can tell, I brought Ben because he's a talker. And I thought this was a perfect experience for him. But, in all honesty, Ben speaks loudly on the field. And that's why, he got even Offensive Player of the Week. Because, going into each game, you need somebody to really step it up, and that's what he did on Saturday for us. He came in there, he did a great job of controlling the front, and that's what we knew we needed to do going into the game. He set the tone, he speaks loudly with his pads, and really got after it, and performed excellent for what we need at that position. But yeah, you're right, there was a lot of great plays.
Well, Ben also had to adjust to another quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Once the game got started, and then you lose your starting quarterback and you bring your freshman quarterback, third string at that point, off the bench to play, and he played good. Your quarterback played good.
Yeah, there was a lot of good in that position room too. Like you said, we went into the week, he was third on the depth chart. You got to be able to practice fast, practice hard. Unfortunately, our second string kind of got dinged up, and so he bumps up, and then we all saw that first series. Gavin goes down with an injury, and then here we go, Tyson. The lights are on. It's your time to shine, and he did a great job with it. Made some mistakes in which we all anticipated potentially happening, but the good that he did with it was unbelievable. Super proud of that kid.
Yeah, I thought he held his composure pretty well the way he came in. Ben, when you have that change in a game and you bring in the new quarterback under center, what's your role as the center, the offensive line, in helping that quarterback get settled in?
Yeah, well, Tyson's my roommate. So
all right. So you and Tyson Smith are roommates.
It was a good way it wasn't too hard of an adjustment, but just like letting him know that we're all here to work with you and we're all here to support you. All five the entire O-line unit is here to protect you, and that's what we're going to do every play. So
yeah, I thought the Grizzlies played well, Coach. I honestly did. And you had a lot of speed. I think this team may be as fast a Adams State football team as we've seen in quite a while. You have some speed on that field.
No, we do, and you could see that we highlighted that a little bit in our offensive scheme and getting the ball to Devin Dawkins and getting the ball to Gio and finding ways to even break one free right there with Mr. Harris and taking it all the way to the touchdown. But we did a lot. We do try to highlight that even on defense. We saw our ability to get to the quarterback is there. We try to do it with some confusion and making these front guys not know where it's coming from, but to be able to get home and get after their quarterback, it got us off on a couple of those third downs. It really helped us out in the game.
And Ben, I don't know what type of offense you ran in high school with the Arapahoe, but the motion offense that Adams State's running this year, how much of an adjustment has that been for you, and where do you feel you are in your comfort level with this motion option offense that we're seeing, which is a really nice offense?
It's been a little bit of an adjustment, especially technique-wise, because my high school ran like a half spread, half wing T offense. So kind of going from that to a motion offense has been just a small adjustment, but Coach O has helped prepare me for that. So.
Yeah, I thought the option offense, Coach, was really fun to watch. And, you can see the potential for the Grizzlies coming out of that set and what you're doing on offense.
Yeah, and that's a tribute to Coach Kaiser and what he does every week. And again, to our players and buying into the system, we like that ability of changing the picture. And I think that's where the biggest adjustment here for Ben Brown is when you start motioning people in the backfield, it's changing the defense. You know, you got backers bumping and bossing and moving and now reallocating safeties in different areas. And so that's where it's really important for the offensive line to know, hey, this picture's going to change a little bit. And so now my combo block might change and things of that nature. And so once they finally establish that as, hey, this is who we are, I think that you'll see they'll just continue to play confident.
Let's talk a little bit about UT Permian Basin's coming in here this Saturday. What do you think, Coach, or what are the keys for you for the Grizzlies as you go into Saturday?
I think the keys are still the same coming off the game from last week. You know, we've got to focus on the fundamentals. You know, not only did we put the ball on the ground, but we didn't tackle well. You know, we gave up a 70-plus yarder almost to a touchdown, dang near turned into a touchdown just because we were missing some tackles. And so finding ways in which we can replicate that in practice and making sure that we're working on those fundamentals to get ourselves successful for this weekend. UTBB, they're a new program still in my sense because they've only been around for about 10 years.
Yep.
But over these last 3 years with Chris at the helm as the head coach, he's just done a great job of continuing to build that program up to a national powerhouse. They are very talented at all positions, and they're coming in off of a very good game that they just beat University of Central Oklahoma,
yeah.
And we're expecting their best. You know, I talked with Chris throughout the week, and he sees a different picture happening here at Adams, and he knows, you know, he can't walk into this one and hope for a dub. I expect them to come out hungry off the bus and ready to play.
Ben, give us some sense of how the team prepares for Saturday. What do you go through this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Give us a sense of that weekly preparation that the team goes through and that you're adjusting to as a Division II college football player.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own routines, but like it comes down, you got to say it, you got to be in the film room, you got to ask questions, you got to, like, you should rep it so much that it's instinct. You should be able to do what you're doing. It shouldn't be a question of what you're doing. It should be how hard you're doing it.
And when you think of UT Permian coming in Saturday, what are the keys for you for the offensive line? What are the things you're working on?
Fundamentals. I mean, comes down to knowing your assignment and executing at a high level. So,
yeah. Coach, we're going to take a quick break. We want to give a little shout out here to RG Bank. And RG Bank is also going to be promoting and sponsoring these Adams State footballs that they're going to throw out on Saturday when the Grizzlies take on Permian Basin at 6 o'clock. RG Bank is the proud presenting sponsor of Adams State football. With Coach Levi Gallas, the Grizzlies put a game plan together to be successful on the football field, and you need a game plan for your finances to help you find success. Visit RG Bank in Alamosa, Pagosa Springs, and Monte Vista, and let them help you with a plan for your deposits, your loans for you personally, for your business, and for your farm and ranch. RG Bank, your future begins today. They're a member of FDIC, equal housing lender. RG Bank says, go Grizzlies. We have RG Bank President Sean Davis with us today. We appreciate him coming in. Get you one of these Grizzly footballs when they're tossing them Saturday at Adams State, Permian Basin, 6 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, again, just noting on that, RG Bank's done a great job just helping us too here at the football community. They stepped up huge with our coaching staff, and we're glad that they're a sponsor for all this.
Hey, we're gonna ask Ben we're gonna let him go, and we're gonna bring in Caitlin Smith, the athletic director for Adams State. She's gonna talk to us about Saturday's game day experience. Caitlin, welcome to football, Adams State football with Coach Levi Gallas.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Big Saturday for Adams State this week.
Very big, yeah.
Take us through that day, Saturday, because you got two big events.
Yeah, so super exciting. Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m., our women will kick off the 32nd annual Joe V. Hill meet. It's pretty incredible that this meet has been going on for 32 years, and I think this year is even more special, right? As many know, Joe V. Hill passed recently, and so we're really trying to make sure we honor him in a very special way during that time. Before the event, there'll be a moment of silence. We'll have a couple video boards out there just showing different videos and clips of Coach V. Hill during his time here and some good motivational words from him. We'll also be playing taps to recognize his time in the military by our incredible band director, James Lind. We'll have the live national anthem being sung by a local girl from the Valley here and kick off the race. David Tamberg will be starting each of the races, so we will have our women kick off at 8:30, the men to follow, with the high schools and middle schools going with that last race starting at about 11:20. And we have heard that we have over 1,100 runners competing on Saturday.
Nice.
So it's going to be a really fun, incredible, and special event.
Yeah.
Coach, how do you, because I know this is important to you as the head football coach, how do you connect your team to the rest of Adams State athletics, to the cross-country invitational? And we know Adams State has one of the best cross-country programs in the nation. How do you take that approach?
Yeah, I think it's important that we get our guys out to these events and just making sure that we're present at all of our athletic department programs and making sure, and we saw that throughout the spring. We tried to get out to every single one, and whether it was men's and women's basketball to men's and women's wrestling, we got out to a lacrosse game, baseball game, softball game, and just making sure that, hey, they're a part of Adams State as well. And some of our biggest fans are going to be the athletic programs within our university, and so just making sure that they feel our support so that they come out and support us as well. And I think a lot of it just has to do with when we walk the halls, when we're walking campus, get your eyes up, talk to people and wish them luck and making sure that they understand that we support them, and it's not about us, it's about all of us.
Well, when you have national caliber runners on campus, it's nice to be able to learn from them too and how they compete and how they win national titles. Caitlin, you have a 6 o'clock kickoff Saturday night at Rex Field, Adams State Permian Basin. And I know you've changed that game day experience. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and before we get into that, I do want to also mention we do have men's soccer that day as well, where they also kick off at home at 11 a.m. against another Lone Star foe, Lubbock Christian. So we'll have a really exciting day.
Adams State campus is full on Saturday.
It is completely full. But yeah, going into football, we are so excited for this year. Really just revisioning the entire game day experience, right? And working with Coach Gallas on, hey, where do we want the team to come from? What does he want it to look like? And so what we are doing is moving our tailgating actually to our practice field. We feel that that'll give everybody a little bit more of that game day experience. You get to see them warming up, see what they're doing, and due to our team now moving into the field house, we will kind of own Plaquey and own our home space on those days instead of the visiting team. And so the football players, coaches will be able to interact and walk through that tailgate. Tailgate will start 4 o'clock. 2 hours before, so it'll start at 4 o'clock. We will have tents out there, spare keg beer as always, which is also incredible to have, and working with them. We're really hoping it's a fun experience. So a little bit different this year. Instead of, it's a tailgate entry instead of tailgate spots, we obviously can't park our cars on the practice field, so.
I like where you're going to put that tailgate, because that lets you walk right into under your new scoreboard. You have a new scoreboard. When we met Coach Gallas earlier this year when he was hired, and we had him on the Valley Pod, and we asked him, Coach, what's the one thing you would like to see in your first year when it comes to, and he said, a new scoreboard, Chris. We need a new scoreboard. And then you have a new scoreboard.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more with that. Selfishly, my stress on game days was not handling that scoreboard very well. So, working with this was honestly a community project. So we worked with local donors that came together to help us get this new scoreboard, and so could not go on without thanking Alamosa State Bank, Alcon Construction, First Southwest Bank, SLV Federal, and SLV REC CLO. They all helped make this possible, and so I can't even express, seeing that thing come up was probably the best thing I've seen all year.
Absolutely. It was, she sent me a text of just the video board actually being on, and I know that takes a huge stress off of her and her team, but it's just, again, a tribute to this community and a tribute to this, who Adams State is. It's all about what we can come up with and do together to help support, and the football team tried to do a little bit as well, and just, again, taking ownership in Rex Field, taking ownership in Rex Stadium, and you can see all of her hard work and her department's hard work in that. As you go into the game day experience this season, you're going to start seeing things that were like, oh wow, they did a lot in the off season. And again, a lot goes to her team and what they did.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, the changes that we're seeing at Adams State this fall. It's going to be a pretty exciting day on campus at Cattails Golf Course for the Jovial Invitational. Then you got Adams State soccer, and then you got the big football game at 6 o'clock that night. Caitlin, we also know that our friends RG Bank are big members of the Grizzly Club. Tell us about the Grizzly Club and how others can support Adams State athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Grizzly Club, all of those funds go directly towards our student athletes in the form of scholarships. As we know, with the landscape of college athletics, recruiting has become harder and harder, and those scholarship dollars mean a lot, and that is what we rely on each year. And so being a part of the Grizzly Club is just so much more. You're supporting athletes, you're able to come to our events, sit in special seating, and just have those invites to other special events on campus, sort of that first grabs at what's going on. Our Grizzly Club members are definitely, we are so appreciative of them and everything they do, because we couldn't do this without them. It takes everybody.
No, it's huge.
If someone wants to join the Grizzly Club, how would they do that, Caitlin?
Yeah, we will have sign up at the game, so if anybody wants to join during the game day, we can do that. Anybody can also contact me. We also have our general athletics email, just athletics@adams.edu. Give us a call, send us an email, come find me. We can get you all taken care of.
Appreciate that. Hey, Coach, 48 hours or so, you're going to be at home, 6 o'clock Saturday night. What's that last message you share with your team as you leave that locker room?
Yeah, I think coming into this one, we need to be worried about us. We know they're a good opponent, but you can't be too caught up in the newspaper clippings of all the awards that they've gotten over the years, or even in the last week. You got to worry about our product, and I think that's evident in what we did in this first game. Is we worried about us. We were able to start fast, and then I think complacency started to set in a little bit, and so we got to break that mindset of, hey, the game's never over until the buzzer goes off, and going into this one, we need to punch fast. We need to get after them. We need to go toe-to-toe with them and make them understand, hey, we're a different product, we're a different team, and from there, let's see where it goes.
I'm going to expect you're going to have a pretty good crowd Saturday night. You're going to have people like Ben's parents coming down from the Denver metro area, and you have a roster full of Colorado kids, and you're probably going to have a good house Saturday night, Coach.
No, I think, like I told these players when I first started the job is, when you start putting a product out on the field that this valley's proud of, they will support you. They will come out, they'll cheer, they'll be loud, they'll give us that home field advantage that we know we need. And I expect it. I know the town of Alamosa, but the entire valley is excited for this opportunity to come out and see this new product, this new era of what's going on with Adams State football.
Hey, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Adams State football show with Coach Levi Gallas, presented by RG Bank. We're going to be live back here next Thursday at San Luis Valley Brewing Company. Come on down and join us. We'll see you Saturday night at Rex Field, 6 o'clock. See you then.
Go Grizz.